Hey guys, Angus, and today I'm going to give you a video on the 5 things I think should be in the iPhone 7. Well, not should be, but I want to be in the iPhone 7. In terms of the Apple event, I have always been following them. You know, I'm a huge Android fanboy, but I've always been interested in watching these Apple events because I have been ever since I was about 9 or 10. So I've been watching them for a good solid 8 years, and I always watch them every year. It's like a tradition. I'm just so interested in them. I never really had an iPhone, but I love watching the Apple events. And of course, this one I will be watching the September event, which of course is on the 7th. So, starting at number 5, the first thing I really hope that is released in the iPhone 7 is actually the fact that there's no headphone jack. Now, of course, a lot of you are going to be thinking, why would you want that as a feature? Now, of course, there have been absolutely enormous rumours. This rumour is absolutely gigantic. Everyone's going mad about it, and it's the fact that Apple is rumoured that Apple have removed the headphone jack from their iPhone 7 to of course make the device thinner. But of course there are other advantages that not many people know about. So the headphone jack itself is actually really old and was actually used since the 1960s. It's really old-fashioned technology, and I think it's a really good idea to get rid of it, because you've got the lightning port, and that can transfer a lot more data, and of course more data will actually mean you can get better quality music. It's like VGA versus HDMI, you know, USB 1 versus USB 2, which one's better? And I think it's a good thing. Of course, headphone companies will have problems. You'll have to probably get an adapter. To be honest, I don't mind that. I think I would have an adapter to have a thinner phone, but again, that's going to cause a lot of problems. I was actually going to make an individual video about why I think it was a really good idea to get rid of the headphone jack, because I could just go on and on. But to be honest, I was going to make a dedicated video, but screw that. So, number 4. The fourth feature I really hope is in the iPhone 7 is a high resolution screen. Now, I really don't understand this. The iPhone 6s, their flagship phone, of course they've got the iPhone 6s Plus, but the iPhone 6s is their main phone right now, is their most advanced phone, is their best shot at a smartphone. And even that phone is not even full HD. It's actually, I believe, 1300 by 1900. Yeah, don't know from the top of my head, but it's not even full HD, and Android phones are just laughing at them because they're way beyond full HD. They're quad HD, and they produce a lot sharper images, and they just beat the iPhone. Now, of course, the iPhone has a lot of features like its camera and its premium build, which can actually trump other Android phones, but that, I think, is the real weakness with an iPhone, and it's actually the resolution of the screen. Don't get me wrong, they are good screens, but to be honest, they're lacking behind, and they really do need to catch up. If I'm perfectly honest, I think they should actually go from what they're now to actually quad HD to actually catch up. I don't think there's any point going to 1080p, because before you know it, all Android phones are going to be 4K, and it's just going to be a ridiculous change in screen resolution. iPhone won't be able to catch up. So the third feature I really hope is in the iPhone 7 is actually wireless charging. Now, of course, Apple have done things to improve the charging quality. So of course they've got Lightning, and that means that you can get more power through the ports, which is good. And of course you've got USB 3 sockets and stuff like that. But to be honest, I really think that they should have wireless charging. I mean, they've got, wireless charging in the Apple Watch. Why didn't they take that same technology and integrate it into their phones? Because I think before it was a bit of a gimmick, and I think only real Samsung phones had that feature. But now, basically all the flagship phones have wireless charging, and I think it's a really good idea. I now think that wireless charging is a feature that I would consider buying. I have said in a previous video that I wouldn't think that wireless charging was a feature that I would choose to buy a phone, but now I think it is, because I think about wireless charging and I think about how convenient it is, and actually wireless quick charging is even better in things like the Samsung Galaxy S7. The second feature that must be in the iPhone 7, and this is a must-have, I think that if Apple don't change this in the iPhones, then I really do think their sales will go down. Who knows? And of course that is a bigger battery. Now, of course, Apple's main aim is to make their phones as thin as possible, and that's fine, because thin phones look really great. But the problem is they're sacrificing battery, and everyone knows who owns an iPhone is that battery is a big deal. So the iPhone 6s doesn't actually have good battery compared to Android phones. Of course, I'm a huge Android fan, I'm going to be comparing, but you know, you can't really disagree, iPhones don't have the best battery. Now, of course, there are phones that have way worse battery than the iPhone, but if iPhone wants to be on top, if they want to be the best, then they need to have good battery life, not 6 or 4 hours, they need to have 12 hours of battery life. They need to be right up there with Android phones. And the number one feature that I pray to God is in the iPhone 7, and I think this would be a killer feature that's basically already in every fucking smartphone, is expandable storage. I can't stress about how useful expandable storage is, and I kind of think that not having expandable storage is Apple's main feature for selling phones. Well, not selling phones, but selling more expensive phones. So rather going for a 16GB model, you go for a 64, because you've owned a previous iPhone and you run out of storage. So next time you want to spend more money on them. And I guess it makes sense, but every phone has expandable storage. Samsung did it. They took it away and then they added it back because it was such a requested feature. You've got to have expandable storage. I mean, to be fair, you can go for more expensive models, but people don't want that. And more people are going to be choosing Android over Apple. And that's bad. iPhone sales are plummeting, and it's simply because Android phones are getting better and better and better every single model. And before you know it, yeah. So yeah, I pray to God that all those features are. I think, of course, the main one I probably would want most is a bigger battery. But to be honest, I think a bigger battery is definitely going to happen, whereas expandable storage won't happen because they never have gone to that. So I think bigger battery will happen. Probably wireless charging. The headphone jack will probably be removed. And I do think that it will be a high res screen. So I think the only one that won't actually be on there is my number one, and that's expandable storage. So there is just a quick list of things I really would like to see in the iPhone 7. So of course, if you did enjoy this video, then definitely be sure to leave this video with a thumbs up. But apart from that, thank you for watching.